Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all will fine and well at your home. Welcome in e-learning session of SST of class 7, and in this video today we are going to learn chapter number 3, the changing earth. Now let's start to knowing well the next topic of the SST. These topics are the Meanders, oxbow, distributaries, deltas, sea cliff, polar region and the mushroom rock. So in this video we have to discuss the next topic of the chapter number our changing earth. So first of all we will know the Meanders. So what is the Meanders? Meanders means that especially we are talking and discussing about the work of agents, the agents of the gradation and the degradation. Already in the previous video I have discussed that gradation and the degradation are having the so many agents. These agents are the rivers, waters and the running water and waves, winds and blowing winds and the waves also. So same as in this way we are knowing the some more definition about the agents of gradation and the degradation. So now the first is the Meanders. Meanders means as the river entered the plain in the form and curve and large the band or loop. It means, what is a Meanders? Meanders means when the river flowing from the Himalaya region and enter into the plain area, when it enter and after enter it take the loop, it take the turn. When it take the turn like this, then it is called the Meanders. Means that the river is flowing like this and it flow and it is take the U-turn. That U-turn is called the Meanders. So now next is the oxbow lake. What is the oxbow lake? Oxbow lake is also means that when the river is flowing, then when the river is taking the many more turns, that turn is called the oxbow lake. It means the main river forming a lake. Yani when the any lake is formed from the main river, that is called the oxbow lake. For an example, the Ganga Nehar. It means in Ganga Nehar is created by the Ganga directly from the main river. That's why this Ganga Nehar is called the oxbow lake. Ganga Nehar is the name of that lake, but we can say the oxbow lake also. So now next is the distributaries. Distributaries means when the many stream is divided from the main river. जब कोई main river से बहुत सारी streams अलग अलग divide हो जाती हैं and it serve the water to the people into the different area, then it is called the distributary. For an example, Ganga coming from the Himalaya and now it divide among the different streams into the different area. बहुत सारे अलग अलग इलाकों में अलग अलग तरीके से चली जाती है. That is called the distributary. Now next is the delta. Delta means when the all distributaries form the triangle, means that is the one river and they distribute in that area and the one stream is there. But later when they form the triangle shape, this triangle shape is called the delta. This triangle shape is called delta. Next is the sea cliff. What is a sea cliff? Sea cliff means work of the wave. Means that the sea cliff is created by the waves. When the waves can best be seen in the coastal area, means that if we want to see the work of the wave, then we can see the work of wave into the coastal area. How we will see? Then the wave strike the rocky coast and almost vertical wall of rock is formed by the erosive actions of wave. These are called the sea cliff. Now the next topic is the polar region. Polar region is created by the ice. Means that when the when the glacier of the rivers of ice, there means that when the glacier is melted and float into the water. अगर river के साथ कोई glacier melt होता है और बहुत बड़े ice piece water के साथ flow करने लग जाते हैं, तो these water pieces are called the glacier. When these glacier फॉर्म द स्नो फील्ड, एक फील्ड जैसा बना देते हैं, मीन्स एक लैंड जैसा सरफेस क्रिएट करते हैं. एंड द हाई माउंटेन्स ऑल्सो, यानी कि ग्लेशियर कलेक्ट होते जा रहे हैं आफ्टर मैनी टाइम, आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, एंड देन दे हैव टू क्रिएटेड द like a mountain, like a hill, then it is called the polar region. In the Antarctica you have seen the polar region, because in the Antarctica how many mountains are there? These mountains are covered by the ice throughout the year. That's why that is called the polar region. Region means the area, and polar in which area there is a lot of ice, and this ice is responsible to form the mountains. Now The next is, and that the glacier can erode the transport and destroy the eroded materials also. A glacier can modify and even completely change the landforms. Next, the erosion work of the ice result in the formation of U-shaped valleys, because when this glacier is melted and flowed with the water, then glacier is also responsible to take the U-turn. जब वो U-turn लेते हैं तो वो एक valley create करते हैं. And I can see, you can see in this picture, because here the ice is floated and that is the area of the ice. And it is a glacier because in this area the color is different, but in this picture you can see easily how much mountains and hilly areas are there. These are created by the ice. That's why we can call the glacier it. Now next is the work of wind. Already we know well, when the wind is blowing with the high velocity, then the wind is to be eroded the material from the one place, and when it has the slow velocity, then the wind has started to drop out the material, whatever material they have to be pick up from the different place. And sometime it is also created the mushroom type of the cloud, means that when it is collected and it is take a round into the environment round lena shuru karta like this is the picture, because when the wind is blowing, then it is the material of the surface of the earth, and now when the surface of the earth, they have to be collected the material from here. यहाँ से मटेरियल कलेक्ट किया और यहाँ हवा के साथ ऊपर उठकर, ऊपर कैसे उठा, ड्यू टू द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द विंड, बिकॉज द विंड इज ब्लोइंग इन वेरी हाई वेलोसिटी, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे हैव टू बी क्रिएटेड द मशरूम टाइप, बिकॉज द मशरूम शेप इज लाइक दिस. मशरूम का शेप भी यही होता है. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग द टाइप ऑफ द मशरूम क्लाउड इज, बट इट इज अ क्लाउड ऑफ द सैंड. ये सैंड का क्लाउड है. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर सेइंग द सैंड ऑफ द मशरूम टाइप क्लाउड ऑफ द sand is created by the wind. So that's why the wind is also, suppose that here it's created, means that from this place the material is eroded, यानी whatever material is pick up by the wind, यहाँ से जितना भी material pick up किया है that is eroded, यहाँ से eroded हुआ, but this mushroom cloud is also blowing with the wind. In which direction the wind was blowing, जिस भी direction में wind blow होगी उसी direction में ये उसके साथ जाएगा, और ना सिर्फ साथ जाएगा, even when the wind will lost their velocity, the how much material within it has to be drop out, ये वहां पर छोड़ दिया जाएगा. यानी कि वेलोसिटी कम होते ही ये मटेरियल वहां पे छोड़ना शुरू कर दिया जाएगा. शुरू नहीं करे, विंड अपने आप छोड़ेगी, अपने आप इरोड, यानी वहां पर क्या हो, जहां पर वेलोसिटी कम होगी, व्हेन द विंड इज स्टार्टेड टू ड्रॉप आउट द मटेरियल, ये कहलाएगा डिपोजिशन, वहां पे हो जाएगा एग्रेडेशन, और यहां से हुआ है डिग्रेडेशन. तो नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज द ब्राचन. What is the brachan? Means that when hill-like structure called the sand dune, and the sand dune are the hills of the sand most commonly found in desert. Especially ये इस type की activities हमें कहाँ देखने के लिए मिलती हैं, desert में, because the desert, only the desert is having the sand. Sand कहाँ होता है, desert में. If you have seen the movies, then you have to see in the movies, the wind is blowing, then the sand is to be blow with the wind and कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट प्लेस. एक जगह से उड़ती है हवा की डायरेक्शन के साथ और दूसरी जगह पे एक हिल जैसा क्रिएट कर देती है. दैट इज कॉल्ड द सैंड डून. मींस दैट यहां से हवा उड़ी और यहां से हवा के साथ ऐसे उड़ा और यहाँ पे जाके उसने हिल क्रिएट कर दी, यहाँ पे कलेक्ट होना शुरू हो गया. तो व्हाट वी हैव टू कॉल, दैट इज कॉल्ड द सैंड डून, एंड इट इज क्रिएटेड, it is formed only in desert area like Sahara desert, like Thar desert, like Deccan desert, like in Gujarat Thor desert. And now these are only the example. Now our chapter is over. First of all, you have to complete the important notes, important terms in their note in their notebook, and later you have to complete the very short and the long answer. And now let's start to know well by these all definitions by animated video.
But what about the seasons on our planet Earth? Does revolution affect the seasons too? It does, indeed. If you look carefully, the Earth is inclined in the same direction throughout its orbit. This tilt and the revolution is the reason that we have different seasons in different parts of the Earth. Let's see how that happens. On June 21st, the position of the Earth as seen here. Try and identify the areas that receive most of the sunlight due to the tilt. As you can see, the North Pole is tilted towards the Sun. You will recognize this area as the Tropic of Cancer. This area receives direct sunlight, and as a result, it is summer in the Northern Hemisphere. This position of the Earth is called the summer solstice. Sunlight on these areas is at its maximum during this time of the year, and hence we have longer days and shorter nights. In fact, the areas beyond the Arctic Circle have daylight for 6 months at a stretch. The reverse happens in the Southern Hemisphere. With less sunlight, the days are shorter and the nights are longer. Now let's follow the Earth's orbit. The Earth seems to have reached another turning point. The date is December 22nd. This is when the Earth reaches the other end of its orbit. The North Pole is facing away from the Sun. This position of the Earth is known as the winter solstice. This time, the South Pole is tilted towards the Sun. This area is the Tropic of Capricorn, which receives direct sunlight, and hence it's summer in the Southern Hemisphere. As you can guess, the Northern Hemisphere has less sunlight during this time. During its orbit, there are times when neither of the Earth's poles is inclined towards the Sun. Thus, on 2 occasions, March 21st and September 23rd, sunlight falls directly on the equator. This position of the Earth is called an equinox. On these days, the day and night are of equal duration on Earth. On September 23rd, it is autumn season in the Northern Hemisphere and spring in the Southern Hemisphere. The opposite is the case on March 21st, when it is spring in the Northern Hemisphere and autumn in the Southern Hemisphere. In this module, you learned that the Earth takes 1 year, or about 365 days, to revolve once around the Sun. The Earth rotates on its own axis. The Earth revolves around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. A full revolution takes 365 1/4 days. A leap year comes every 4 years. The extra day in a leap year is formed by adding up the quarter days, or 6 hours, over 4 years. The Earth's axis is inclined at an angle of 23.5 degrees to the vertical. The Earth's tilt and revolution cause the change of seasons. The Northern Hemisphere receives sunlight for the longest duration on June 21st. This position of the Earth is called the summer solstice. In summer, the days are longer and the nights shorter. Daylight can last for up to 6 months in the Arctic region during the summer. The Northern Hemisphere receives sunlight for the shortest duration on December 22nd. This position of the Earth is called the winter solstice. The equator receives direct sunlight on March 21st and September 23rd, resulting in day and night of equal durations. This phenomenon is known as an equinox.